Mexico presented the UN with a report on measures they are taking to protect human rights. This includes systemic issues such as enforced disappearances and torture, a practice that experts and activists say is widespread in Mexico. Our correspondent Clayton Khan filed this report.
Since 2013, the life of Ana has been upside down. Her husband David has been detained without charge or sentence, accused of kidnapping. She says he was forced to sign a false confession produced by torture.
He had a bruise on his left side, eye, cheek, he had blood on his wrist, and he had a vest which made it hard to see the beatings on his body. When I tried to pull up his shirt, they didn't let me.
David was a political advisor to lawmakers and the legislature, with no criminal history. His lawyer affirms that although there is no evidence of his guilt, often law enforcement agents fabricate it to appease to superiors that may have a political agenda.
Police agents act under a lot of pressure. They act so as to produce results for their superiors, and in this case, of some presumed victims that had political connections because of their families. This generates a pressure on the police to provide results, and they do it, like Ana said, through an investigation method which is torture.
Although Mexico signed on to the so-called Istanbul Protocol, which outlines international standards in documenting and punishing torture, activists affirm that since the country launched its so-called war on drugs in 2006, state-implemented torture has increased with impunity.
Torture has not ended in fact, it has become worse. And it is not a legal or technical problem, but rather a grave problem because public servants hide it.
Yet international organizations such as the United Nations affirm that the use of torture goes beyond isolated cases to being widespread and systematic.
There is a permanent presence of mistreatment when one is arrested, and when I say torture is generalized, I meant to refer specifically to the denouncements that I have received, which practically point to all agencies that make arrests in this country.
With the fallout of the forced disappearance of the 43 Ayotzinapa students, Mexican authorities are facing sharp pressure to implement new mechanisms to prevent and sanction the application of torture and investigations. Clayton Khan, Telesur, Mexico City.